everybody. It's Linda G.
I
Intro.
dun, 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 dun,
This is
dun.
Mel Door.
Hi,
How you
everybody.
doing, my friend? I just got done with the reading. I'm down to only a couple of more weeks of personal readings.
Wow. Wow. I'm good. We were at Rosaires last night and she made pasta fazool. That's Italian bean soup. I love pasta fazool. In standard Italian, it's pasta fagioli or pasta
Uh-huh.
e fagioli, but in dialect, pasta fazool. So I had some of that for my lunch. It's like 55 degrees here, which is unheard of in December. It's going to get cold though. It's going to get down to
Yeah, they were
30.
talking on the Weather Channel that it's going to get cold.
Yeah, so I have to bundle up. Today I'm enjoying it.
She
How
made
was
it from scratch.
um not the beans. When I make it, I cook the beans from scratch. I do everything, but um I forgot what recipe it was, but it was really good actually.
Did
So
she, is it almost like an minestrone or different?
it's different.
Okay.
It's got chicken stock, tomatoes, beans, white beans or navy beans or Italian sausage. The Italian sausage was good because they make their own. And it's like I used to get it years ago because it's got anise and fennel in it. And now when you buy it at the grocery store, they don't put the fennel or anise in. And it's like, whoa. But right now, she gave me a big thing of it. So I'm going to make some pasta fazool. I'll send you the recipe.
Okay, that sounds
But there's
great.
a lot to it.
Yeah.
That's just for the canned beans, but I like to cook mine from scratch.
Now, when's your next events coming up?
In May,
Me.
that one is
May of
sold out.
next year.
May of next year. That one is sold out. Gary just walked in, so the dog is May
Yeah.
of next year. And then I've got openings on my trip in Peru in September of next year. I've got openings for that. That's going to be incredible. It is a lot of walking. So if you have problems with
Yeah.
walking,
You won't see me there.
right. And then Iceland is in October. October the 1st, and that's open. And that's going to be 7 days. That's going to be incredible as well. It's not as much walking, but we're
Is
going to
that
see
where the full thing is with
the
the
northern,
moon, the eclipse?
yes, but that's not until 2026.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm thinking about putting a group together to go there in 2026.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
problem is you can't guarantee if it's going to rain or not. Nobody's
I
got any
know. I
guarantees on.
know. I know. I'd love to go to Egypt.
Uh,
Egypt is going to be a good viewing point.
I think, I'll try to plan a trip to Iceland and see what happens.
Okay. Okay. And
But
are
when
they the ones
when
that
Nick,
have that volcano going off right now?
I'm sorry,
Are they the ones that have that volcano?
I think so, but they've always got volcanic activity pretty much.
But
Uh,
Philippines is going through a good one too.
right. But anyway, if anybody's interested in going, call my office, 847-590-5411 or www.meldor.com.
Okay. All right. You want to ask the first question?
All right. Um, this one's a good one. I don't know if well, we'll talk about it because I think I know what it means. All right. It says, after waking up at 1:30 and 3:30 this morning, between 3:30 and 6:30, I dreamt about a big storm that was coming. For some reason, I had to be outside. I felt it coming and I wrapped my arms and legs around a cement pole of some sort of porch cover. The clouds grew dark and the wind picked up, but weirdly enough, I was calm. When the storm hit, I turned my back to it so I would not be blown off the pole. And I felt the pole come up and down twice, but felt that it was strongly planted in the ground. And then that was it. I woke up. Uh, she said, which was late for her. She woke up 6:30. Was this a download? I don't know if it was a download, but I feel it was a premonition or precognition clairvoyantly of what's to come. A storm is coming. She's holding on to the pole. It's not blowing her away. The pole is sound.
Yeah.
That would be those of us who don't like Trump. And even though there's a storm coming, he's not going to be able to take us out.
Yeah. That's definitely grounding and getting through a storm is a very good sign.
Yes, it is. So,
Now I had a dream about three red and white snakes. And I wasn't afraid, and I managed to put them in some sort of container, three of them.
well, snakes can be, if they're shedding their skin, it's
No, they
about,
were shedding their skin.
um, well, then it would be about, what color were the snakes?
Red and white,
Okay.
white stripe.
So I think the red would represent the obvious, you know, and people being fearful of snakes, but yet the snakes didn't harm you.
No, they didn't harm, and I was able to move them quite quickly into something else.
So I think that's indicative of what's coming politically. It's going to seem like these vicious snakes, but yet we will get through it and we'll be able to move past it. That's how I interpret it.
Okay. Okay. Will our government purge our Russian operatives from elected office and other government jobs?
Well, who do what?
Will our government purge our Russian operatives from elected office and other government?
The answer at some point is yes, I feel.
Yeah, I see we'll be quite surprised about the number of people that are in Putin's pocket.
Huge. We were talking last night about the Romanian elections, and this guy who was an ultra right winger came from nowhere and supposedly won, but I think the Romanian courts got evidence that Russia clearly interfered through social media, whose name I won't mention, but it starts with a T. And we've got to watch that here because I'm sure that they interfered here too.
Oh, I know they did.
But Romanian, I think parliament or courts said, no, this election is not valid.
That's
So
what we should be doing too.
I agree. I totally agree. Except this country, unfortunately, the wheels of justice are too slow and it gets hung up in the court systems forever. But they did step in. And now, some people are crying foul play, but I think they've stayed the elections for at least around 3 months.
Oh, good.
So I don't think that ultra right winger is going to get in because he wants to give zero aid to Ukraine and do zero for them. And Romania shares a border with Ukraine. And this guy's clearly in Putin's pocket. He's a puppet of Putin. So,
Yeah. Yeah, they're kicking him out.
I've got a new term. When people cheat, I say, you Putin, you're a Putin. That's my.
Okay, your turn.
Okay. Well, this is a good one. Kathy Reagans. Hi, Kathy. Hello, lovely Linda and Auntie Mel. My question is, do you both see Assad brought to justice from The Hague for crimes against humanity? She says, love you both. He was just ousted, and I understand he's hiding in Moscow.
Yeah, but Moscow will cover him until Putin goes down.
That's what I think too.
So he will have come to a trial.
But ultimately, I agree. I do see a trial for crimes against humanity. If he ever leaves Russia, wherever he lands, unless it's a country friendly with Putin, they'll nab him.
Yeah.
So he best stay in Russia.
You don't think if Trump got in office, he'd invite him to come visit the United States? Nah, he doesn't want to have any part of it.
Well, if Trump does that, that is going to create huge dissension among, Arab Americans, huge, and cause huge issues. I wouldn't put it past Trump.
Yeah. Isn't that terrible how they have prisoners underneath cement?
Yes. Well, now they went to the prison there that were Assad, anybody that didn't like him or people he thought didn't like him. And it was very secret, and it was supposed to be all kinds of horrific things happening there. Now they've gone into that, and they're starting to open it up to tell the whole story about what did occur.
Well, I'm telling you, there was one girl that got kidnapped and arrested when she was 19. And she was continually raped while she was in there. She's 36 now, and she has a bunch of children who she doesn't know who the father is.
Well, my light bulb just went on as we're talking about Assad. If they can't nab him, I see him convicted in absentia. So I see a trial for war crimes, and even if he doesn't show up, he'll be convicted. And at some point, I've got a funny feeling that he's going to be executed for war crimes.
Well, I think he might be taken out before he even goes to trial. But let me tell you something. Another feeling I had was that it's so awful, the things they're finding out about him, that yes, he might be sniped out. He might be sniped out.
Well, if that happens, but I still see him convicted in absentia. So
Yeah, it's just terrible. People want him gone. So a lot of people, even in Syria, could dress up like Russians and go in there and take him out.
well,
I would doubt if Putin takes him out, because Putin, he's a pain right now to Putin. He did no good for Putin.
the bigger question is, will it weaken Iran? And I think it clearly will.
Yeah, what's going on with Iran? What did you feel on Iran?
I felt by this Assad leaving that it was going to weaken Iran. And at some point, I see that whole theocracy leaving. And at some point, I see more of a democratic Iran, but it's going to take a while.
Yeah, because I do see the women finally being able to take off their hijabs. Like they're
Whatever.
finally free.
Um,
But
I,
did you see them running around in Iran now, grabbing their hats and they're pulling off the flags? So the young people are saying, we don't want this anymore.
I see protests in the street, and I see an uprising in Iran to try to overturn the regime of the Ayatollahs and the religious police and all of that.
Well, they did try before, didn't they? I remember that one girl getting shot through the head.
But at some point, they will succeed.
But I feel it's just like what happened with Syria.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to tell you guys something. The guy that's the one who started all this, who used to be kind of a terrorist himself, he's coming through in a better tone, wanting Syria to succeed. I don't think he's lying.
Mm-mm. He's
So,
not. I don't feel it. He's not lying.
because that Syrian guy, Assad, everybody thought he would be better than his father. He felt like he was going to work across the board, kind of like the demon.
He was worse.
He was worse.
Um, I guess they're nervous about, maybe Taliban or radicals taking over in Syria, but I'm not seeing that. I see it more at some point democratic, whatever that means. People in this country Trump talked about Muslims and banning Muslims from coming here. And I just saw today mass deportations, which I will speak out about until I go to my grave because it's going to rip apart families. It's going to get hung up in the courts. It's just not right to rip families apart. And anybody who would stand for that, in my opinion, is guilty of crimes against humanity.
Yeah,
But people talk about what's happening there. It's happening here. We have the
exactly.
ultra right-wing Christian right in Trump, who doesn't really give one hoot about religion, but lets them have all the power they want because he knows that they'll try to keep him in power. And we are creating a theocracy in this country. It's an American apartheid, and I see
Yeah.
at some point it will end. It's,
Let me ask you though about Netanyahu. I don't trust him.
I don't either.
I guess they bombed all the chemical stuff but I feel like he wants a piece of Syria.
He does. And he and Trump are like that. I just wonder how he's playing it out with Russia because Russia and Iran were behind that attack, that whole attack on Israel. So I wonder how Trump's going to play that one.
I don't know.
You can't you can't have two masters.
Right, exactly. Well, speaking of two masters, if you don't mind, then I'll have you do a question. What are you seeing on Elon Musk facing treason charges?
I see it's going to happen.
I see him in huge trouble.
I think there's going to be a huge falling out between he and Trump because uh, Musk is going to get more attention, or Trump will think he'll get more attention than Trump. I see a huge falling out, especially with the electric car thing. Trump doesn't like that. Musk owns Tesla. Musk is going to try to buy up all the media.
He's not going to get his hands on MSNBC. Comcast already announced that.
That's right. It won't work. And I think, I watch the BBC. They're not going to let him touch the BBC.
No.
If you want accurate, look at BBC or Al Jazeera. Uh, but I see him with his downfall. I keep seeing Trump with his downfall. If Trump is around long enough, because I'm telling you, he's going to have some major health issues.
Yeah, he's about ready to go down.
Elon Musk treason, and I see Elon Musk out of this country. You know, I read some stuff, and I think I don't know if his parents, but they were in apartheid in South Africa. That was that small group of whites that controlled everybody else, and he grew up with that. So it makes sense that his views are apartheid. He's trying to
Yeah,
bring that to America, but it won't. It
not gonna
it
work.
looks like it's working, but it won't work.
Yeah. So go ahead with your question.
Okay, this is a good one. Carrie says, "Hi, Mel and Linda. Will the Dems in North Carolina overcome the GOP power grab? The GOP is trying to strip the Democratic governor of his powers."
Yeah, I see it going to court. I see even the Supreme Court can't turn it over. They're going to say, no, you can't do that.
Correct. They're not
Because
going
those were rightful votes and they're trying. Let me tell you, if it was being done to them, are you kidding?
I don't think they're going to be able to strip the Democratic governor of his powers. It's not going to happen.
Somebody else tried that and it didn't work.
It's not, it's hard to do that in this country.
Yeah.
Okay, your turn.
No, you got to do another one because I did two back to
Oh,
back.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Rudy Giuliani continues to defy court orders. And,
Uh-oh. Which one
and,
is he doing now?
and Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss have asked the court to hold him in contempt. Will the judge finally do this, and will Giuliani be jailed? Do you see Ruby and Shay getting possession of his assets soon?
I thought they already got the Mercedes and a couple other things.
My feeling is they'll get more, but Giuliani is being prosecuted under the state, not federal, right?
Yeah.
Because Trump can't pardon him.
No, Trump can't pardon.
For federal stuff, he can. But, Giuliani's going to be asking Trump for help. But my feeling is Trump is just going to give him the heave ho.
Yeah.
And at some point, I got a feeling Giuliani is going to come out and talk about Trump in a bad
Well,
way.
I'm telling you, the bankruptcy people are already going to Trump asking about the $2 million Trump owes him.
Right. And
Where's
they can,
that money?
and they
Yeah.
can collect on that.
Yeah.
Which brings me to a point. Do you think that E. Jean Carroll will get her money, the 475 million
She
or
will.
whatever?
I'm sorry it's taking so long, but she will.
She'll get it. All right. Giuliani's not out of the woods. I see him in jail. I always have.
Okay, good.
We both saw Trump convicted, but we didn't see him going to jail. So
There you go.
the
And he
conviction,
was convicted on 34 counts.
that's right. He was.
Okay, was Root, Rutte, wearing a wire when he met with Trump?
I think they would have checked him for that.
I know they would have checked him. I don't see him wearing a wire.
I think that he took copious notes in his head.
Yeah. And
Some
he came
people
right out and gave the down low of what the conversation was.
some people have photographic memories, and they don't even have to write down notes. I'm sure
Not
Trump.
me. I can just talk to you and you'll say, remember, Linda, I told you. I'm like,
It's me. I'm like, what? I was supposed to do a show tonight with Sherry, and I forgot I had a townhouse meeting, and people say write it down. And I said I did write it down. I just forgot to look. Go
That's
figure.
what I've done. I've had things written down and forgot to look.
Part of it, right?
I have to write it down. I can't put it in my phone even.
Me either. All right. So, am I next here?
Yeah.
Okay. Deb Marsh says, will the media fairly and accurately cover the election interference claims when they become known?
Yes.
Yes. I think MSNBC will. I think NBC will, ABC, CBS. And I also see other media outlets like the BBC. And I see a certain media platform in this country after about 3 or 4 years, but specifically in Europe as well, being shut down because of people like Putin and other governments using it to control elections. So those countries will, like Romania and other countries, will pass, even France, really strict laws to keep, media platforms from spreading misinformation.
Right.
And I've got a feeling they'll use AI because AI will be able to determine if it's real or if it's lies, if it's misinformation. So they'll have an AI program to uh, oversee an AI program that's spreading false rumors and stuff.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's how I see it coming down. Uh,
Uh,
yeah, go ahead, Gary. Gary wants to know if he can walk by. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Gary. Um, will will President Biden use the immunity the Supreme Court gave him to help with the American people?
Will he do what?
Will he use that immunity? Do you remember they said Trump has immunity?
Right.
Will Biden use that?
Oh, I think he's got some things up his sleeve between
I
now
did
and
too.
January. And I saw Liz Cheney. She is becoming really outspoken because Donald Trump said she should be in jail. Well, he said the same thing about Hillary because of January 6th. And Liz Cheney said because Trump lied about it, that he lied about Liz Cheney outright. And she came out and said, no, here's the deal. He did, he was involved in the January 6th insurrection. He sat at the White House, he watched it happen. I mean, she pretty much said everything that came out against him. And she is becoming a really, really, really huge, even more outspoken uh,
And
person.
can I tell you, even if he starts taking things to court, it's going to just fall to the wayside.
Exactly. I see her holding a political office or running for political office. I
I
don't
thought for sure Kamala was going to give her one.
I don't like her politics, but I do admire her courage in speaking up because there's one thing she's about, and that's America.
Yeah.
Even though politically we differ. But
I just never had an appetite for her dad. I just
no,
don't
I
like
didn't
him.
either. I didn't either, but she is going to continue to speak up.
Yeah. Okay, your turn.
And at some point, my psychic light bulb just went on. When the Dems take control of the House and the Senate, she is going to, I feel, uh, put together another investigation based on reports they've gotten and things like that about interference in this election. I see her doing that.
Wow, I love it.
She's probably thinking about it behind the scenes now.
Yeah.
All right. Um, okay, I just asked that one about the media. So it's your turn, I think.
Okay. Will five eyes bring forth the information of 45 misdeeds?
Well, what?
Five eyes. And will there be enough to prosecute him?
I don't know what Five Eye
I
is,
don't
but
know what five eyes is.
but I do see a lot more coming out about, his thugs and about how he's broken the law when he wasn't president, even up to this election, the crap he pulled.
Look at what's going on right now, Romania, even in Iran. Look at Syria. But people just aren't going to put up with this anymore.
People are
And
getting tired of
we're
it.
about ready to see people on the streets and a lot of stuff. It's going to shock him.
And people are getting fearful of Putin in a lot of those countries because they border Ukraine and they know what Putin's up to. And
Right.
anybody that's not going to support Ukraine, they don't want. They don't want to go ultra right. They don't.
Yeah. Okay, your turn.
Okay. What is the future? This is Giga Hellblaze, I think. What's the future of Syria now that Assad is gone? Will it become another Afghanistan? That's a
No,
good. No, I don't see it as another Afghanistan.
no, but I see them building back up and getting help from other countries.
And Russia's going to try to interfere to put a
Oh,
puppet.
yeah, they're already at the table, even talking with Assad about going back in and taking over. They're not going to be able to do it.
Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I think the Sunnis will take control, but I'm not being political or anything like that, or I don't know much about, Sunnis and the other different parts of the Muslim religion. But at some point, I mean, there'll be chaos for a while, and there'll be groups trying to figure out who's going to take it
But
over.
all these people coming back into the country, the economy will get built back up, but there's a lot of healing that needs to
But if
take
the
place.
U.S. was smart, they would try to make a coalition with the Syrians.
Yes, try to get in there and help them, give them what they need.
That's exactly right. but I don't know what's going to happen with Trump because he's got Putin too far up the you know what.
Yeah. So why did Tulsi Gabbard meet with Assad several times?
Um, because she was trying to get a coalition going with Syria. I mean, not coalition, that's the wrong word, but letting them know that the United States would support Assad and all that stuff.
No, he was terrible.
Well, they were striking some deals, trust me.
Yeah, remember when Trump did that fake, I'm gonna bomb you for using weapons, chemical weapons? And they
Right,
emptied out, they told Russia and they emptied out an area so he could bomb an empty area.
right.
That was stupid.
That was really stupid. Okay. Um, I
By
don't
the
think
way, will she get picked, Tulsi Gabbard? I don't see her getting picked.
I don't see her getting picked.
I see them finding too much stuff.
I think he's going to make Rubio Secretary of State. And the reason he's doing that first is because then DeSatan can put in who he wants, and Rubio Senate seat. And then I think he's going to make DeSatan. He's going to give DeSatan something really higher up, not Secretary of State. I don't know what he'll give DeSatan, but it's
But
something.
what about the guy that we know, the drunk? He's not going to get in, right?
Get it? No, he's not going to get it. I can't think of his name.
Secretary Edgeworth or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think he'll get it.
Will he give the Satan a Secretary of Defense or whatever?
I think Secretary of Defense will be DeSatan.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Which is what Hedgeworth is trying to get.
But they'll make Rubio Secretary of State first, and then that way DeSatan can put a MAGA in Rubio's
Oh,
Senate seat, and then he'll make DeSatan Secretary of Defense.
okay, that makes sense.
That's how I see it going.
Hmm.
Okay. Mark LaRoche asks, hello to both. Will Senate races in Florida and Texas be recounted as part of any resolution forthcoming? I thought I saw both states as blue during the election coverage on MSNBC.
They're going to keep them out of it, but there is another state. Oh, Orange County in Los Angeles. They're going to have to totally redo it. They said there's some big issues down there. A lot of Republicans won down there.
Really?
Yeah, so it was just on the news.
But it's not going to overturn the House seat in the
It
13th
might. It might.
because a Democrat won that in California. A Democrat won
In
the
Orange County?
No, 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 no. He
I'm
just
talking about Orange County.
Oh, I see. I gotcha. Yeah, they will.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Um, yeah, if they recount the vote, it's not going to go anywhere. Even though I do think there was shenanigans going on. It's your turn, Linda.
What happened with the children released from detention at the border after Trump's first term? They looked for them. They didn't find a group. And by the way, they just found out Russia is posting Ukrainian children they stole, posting them up for adoption.
I know. That's terrible. And think about if their parents see that, or if their parents are dead or whatever. It's horrible.
Yeah, I see a few of these children being found, but not all of them.
I do too. They'll find some, but not all. It's sad. It's sad what Trump did then, and now he's going to try mass deportations, and he'll
Yeah,
get with some of it. But I'm telling you, like I keep saying, it's going to be tied up in court, so he's not going to be able to try to do as much as he thinks he is.
right, right.
Okay, Nicolette Hartel says, is Trump going to end birthright citizenship?
Yeah, he just got done doing an interview saying he would.
Well, he can try, but here again, I don't know if you have
Going to
to.
do an executive order, he said.
Well, he can try that, but if it goes to court, I don't know what that's going to end up doing.
They're not.
But what's he trying to say? That if you're born overseas of American parents, that you don't have birthright here?
Yeah,
What about people who are in the military who have kids overseas? Like
yeah.
if you,
He's an idiot.
so I think, you just can't do a blanket birthright ending birth birthright citizenship like
And
that.
if you were born in the US, but your parents are a foreign blood, then all of you's got to go.
That's not going to fly.
Yeah.
That's not going to fly.
Executive action or not, they're going to say, nope.
Executive action still can't be unconstitutional.
But, if he gets in office and all this crap he's trying to throw, I see so many blocks in his way,
Me
like
too.
all these lawsuits at ACL. I see marching in the streets, and I see the stock market really going down.
Oh,
And
it's going to take a
people are
huge hit.
going to lose money. And then when they start talking about cutting Social Security, that's when everybody's had it, even his own people.
That's right. That's what I see too. Mass dissension. The thing
Yeah.
is, with birthright citizenship, I do want to go back to that momentarily. So people that are born here and their parents aren't citizens, they can't rescind their citizenship. It just has to be from a certain date going forward. But I don't know. I have to look at the law. But you just can't make an executive order overturning a law. I think there's some kind of due process you have to go through. I
Yeah.
don't know if it has to go through the House, the Senate, all that stuff.
Right. Right.
I'd have to look at the current immigration laws. Anyway, your turn.
When will people on Earth actually meet ETs? I think we've already met them.
Yeah, right. I think so too. Auntie Vaughn says, Aloha,
Oh,
Auntie.
you're not going to answer the question?
I did. I said, I do too. I think there's some
Oh,
here on this. I think we've already met them, I said.
I think they're thinking a big event. I don't know about big events, but we will have more visions and stuff.
Okay. Auntie Vaughn says, Aloha, Auntie Mel, and lovely Linda. Is NATO planning on asking the U.S. to leave if the tangerine toddler is inaugurated? Mm,
They might,
um,
because he's going to refuse to pay any money.
well, he'd have to do something pretty heinous.
Okay.
And if he does something like that, then yes, they would say. But if he tries to start
Well, he
hobnobbing,
already said he's leaving NATO.
um,
Just on that interview he did with CBS, he said, I'm getting the United States out of NATO."
I don't know how easy that is because it's all done with treaties. And even if he does try that at some point when he's not president, then we would go back into NATO. The reason he's trying to do that is telling other countries to pull out of NATO, but he's thinking he'll weaken NATO because that's what Putin wants. It's not going to work.
No, it's
NATO's
not.
going to band together and be even stronger.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how can you turn your back on our NATO allies who stood behind us through thick and thin?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he'll try it. You're right. I just don't know if it's
Right.
going to be as easy as he says.
So, will corporate greed ever get in check, especially with health insurance? All this is out in the open now. And I see the health insurance reversing a lot of stuff because now they're afraid.
Did you hear what they tried the Blue Cross Blue Shield anthem? And they rescinded it because there was so much outcry about it.
Oh,
Was
about being under anesthetic?
yes.
That
That
was
is
so crazy. You're under anesthetic, but you could suddenly get charged thousands of dollars because your anesthesiologist or your surgeon took too long for the surgery. They
that
don't leave you under longer just so they can get money.
no,
I've
they
worked in hospitals.
no, they don't do that at all. And it's really damaging to healthcare. I mean, I had some health challenges. If they would have done that, I would have been broke. I mean, I had triple bypass surgery. I had cancer removal. Hello.
Yeah, so it's really sad.
They'll try crap like that, but here's the point that I've been making is that they're going to try price gouging. We're in line to pay more money for groceries, all of that. But just like when that whole chicken thing happened, the price of chickens went sky high and people stopped buying them, and then all of a
And
sudden,
even eggs. And even eggs.
that's right, then the prices came down. So what I'm saying is if they're going to price gouge, and they're going to price gouge certain products. Very simple. Don't shop at that store or don't buy those products. And that's going to force them to bring the prices down.
I'll tell you, I was at the store the other day and I couldn't believe, even for my Thanksgiving dinner, how much turkey was way cheap.
Oh yeah.
Everything was hella cheap.
Well, stuff's going to go up. You mark my words with all those tariffs and things
Oh,
he's
they're
going
already putting it up in anticipation of the tariffs.
to. Exactly. I rest my case.
So what you do is you get your bag of noodles or something, have noodles with ketchup in it. And there you go. You're all done.
I do foresee legislation coming to prevent that price gouging. Like
Oh, you do?
I do. Not under Trump, but at some point they say, wait, they cannot price gouge like that.
Well, they're doing it because they're claiming the tariffs is going to make their costs go up.
I get that, but the tariffs haven't been imposed yet.
Yeah, and the other thing is here in Sonoma County, we have our own cattle, we have our own meat, our own chickens. We can live just fine without going to any other country to get anything.
I mean, I've started to make my own bread. I'm learning how to make sourdough and I'm starting to do stuff like that.
I can't do that. I tried. It's too hard.
It's hard to do. Take this, but
And the thing is, it smells so good, but if you eat bread every day, it's like
well,
it can be tough on the body.
I have like one slice. I don't eat a lot of bread.
Well, what do you do with the rest then? You freeze it or give it away?
Well, if it makes sourdough loaf, if you eat one slice a day, then you can freeze it. You can freeze the starter. You can freeze the bread. I mean,
Yeah,
um, but if bread prices go up, I'll quit buying bread. It's that simple.
I don't care about bread. We don't really eat bread at all.
I
I keep throwing out bread all the time because it mildews because I never use it.
what I do if it gets old, I make breadcrumbs, and then I use it in meatballs and stuff like that.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yep. All right. Is it your turn or mine?
I don't remember.
Okay, I'll go.
I think it's your turn.
I watched a speech from Obama Forum on Friday, and something about his expression seems off.
Who?
Obama.
Oh, okay.
She said, I watched a speech from him, our king says, on Friday, and something about his expression seems off. How's he doing with everything that has happened? I think he's probably like the rest of us, like,
I
what?
think, yeah, he's sick to his stomach.
Um, but I think he will be an outspoken opponent of the orange one.
Yep.
So will Biden.
Yeah. Yeah.
So will Kamala. She'll be like, put me in jail.
Yeah. I didn't even Liz Cheney say, whatever. I don't care. I'm not afraid of him.
Right. She's like, we didn't lie. Donald Trump lied. Here's what happened. And, he's not going to be able to put us in jail because we did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And I think she's basically.
Oh, I see a lot of lawsuits. It's on our dime, on the public's dime.
Absolutely.
And then I see him being thrown out.
Right.
So Victoria wants to know, will the U.S. experience a cyber attack on our electrical grid to cause blackouts in 2025?
I tend to think we experienced a partial cyber attack on our election with all the misinformation going on.
Yeah, we did.
With this, the misinformation in a certain social media platform, you can call that a cyber attack.
But what about the electrical grid? I see they have a lot of, we got it, I think before, or some places that I see them having a lot of things to make sure that doesn't happen again.
So do I. But I think she hit on a good point is that a lot of places our electrical grid is becoming so outdated and that it needs a lot of work, like in Texas. And I just think they keep ignoring it. So I do see a big outage coming. And that's the way of saying to the politicians, look, you cannot let this aging infrastructure continue because things are crumbling and falling apart.
Yeah, yeah.
At some point, I see a Democrat, and that's going to bring back Biden's idea of new bridges, roads, railroads, and resurrect that, almost like the New Deal.
Yeah, which they already have done some of this. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, you got another question?
Will the murderer of healthcare insurance CEO be caught? Did he act alone? I think
he's been caught. They're questioning him now.
Yeah, I saw it's all over the news today. All right. I've already asked about E. Jean Carroll.
Will the truth come out about the stage Butler, Pennsylvania assassination attempt? I think it will.
I think it will too.
We're going to get the truth on so many things. It's not even funny.
this is the beginning, even though it's the age of lies, what Trump, you you know, as president-elect, and if he gets in office, it'll be nothing but lies and misinformation. But it's also going to be the coming of the age of truth.
Yes, a lot of truth out there, you guys.
Whatever he says and whatever lies he tells, they're going to, the truth is going to come out a lot sooner than normally what it takes, and say, wait, these are all lies.
Yeah, the other thing, even what people are noting, Ivan, what's her name? Ivanka, Melania. Melania gave birth to Barron and worked in this country illegally and gave birth to Barron before she was a United States citizen. So she comes under the ones who should be taken out.
That's
The
right.
other one is his wife, Ivana.
Right.
She gave birth to all three of those kids before she was a U.S. citizen 2 years later.
And look how he gave uh, Melania's family chain citizenship, which she says he's against.
Yeah,
It's the hypocrisy of it. It's okay as long as it works for them, and they'll bend the
exactly.
rules. But for other people, no, I'm not going to do it. He's just playing on the on the fear of American people and trying to create chaos that keeps him in power. And you have to blame somebody. And in this case, he's blaming immigrants, and he's blaming Mexicans, and he's blaming Muslims, just like he always did. It's xenophobia. And at some point, people wake up and say, wait a minute.
I just see a lot of people. I keep dreaming about assassinations. I see a lot of people with their sights on him. I don't know if it's religious related or American related, but I feel there's so many people want him gone.
Linda, I've been dreaming about the same thing. It's unreal. So I think
Yeah.
we looked into things,
But
obviously.
I'd rather see him go out because everybody finds out what he lied and did to us rather than any kind of takeout, because the takeout would make him a martyr.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You're right. It would make him a martyr,
Yeah.
and we don't want martyrs. Um, will they pass any laws regarding data mining and online privacy? Yes, I hear
Yes.
yes to that.
A few years, but yes.
All right. It's your turn.
This will be my last question.
Okay.
Everybody wants to know about election interference. We can only go over that so many times. Okay, hello, both of you, and happy holidays. Someone pointed out that even if Trump isn't in office long, next up will be Vance, and after him, it would be thrown to the House and Mike Johnson to decide. Horror. Well, let me tell you something. Pretty soon, Mike Johnson won't have any decision because it's going to be all blue, Senate and Congress.
Bingo.
Do you see possibly that the entire vote is tossed because of Russia interference? No.
I do.
Russia's losing, he's losing his grip. When Putin goes, there's a lot of we'll be surprised how much stuff's going to happen.
Oh, I agree. And I do see that the Dems, as I keep saying, are already strategically planning how to take over the House and the Senate and the midterms. So even if Vance became president, because I don't see Trump, I do not see Trump fulfilling his full term in office. I just don't.
I never did. If he gets in office, and the other thing is, Vance is a nothing burger. Nobody likes Vance.
Right. So, he'd be a lame duck president.
Yeah.
And so once the midterms are over, then I think Hakeem Jeffries would be Speaker of the House. And I keep seeing him as Speaker of the House. And if Vance were impeached or whatever, then a Democrat would take over, because if the vice president, something happens to the president and something happens to the vice president, then it goes to Speaker of the House.
Right.
So
but if they have some sort of hearing to find out that they all lied and cheated, they'd all be kicked out.
correct, unless during the midterms it's Hakeem Jeffries, and then he would take over.
Yeah.
Something like that, I think, is going to happen, actually.
I do too. I've always felt it. I always felt Hakeem being the speaker.
I really think that's going to happen.
So, all
Anyway,
right. Thank you, my friend.
happy Monday. Next week, my channel. And
Speak your channel. We're
all
almost
right,
at Christmas.
like
Have you done any shopping?
no,
Yeah.
I did. I ordered wreaths for people. What I do is I get the fresh made wreaths.
Yeah.
And those are so cool. And if you spritz them, they'll last through the whole season, through the whole Yuletide season. So I buy those and they smell so wonderful.
Yeah, my mother-in-law used to send those every year.
Hey, what wonderful person sent you those flowers? They look amazing.
Oh, yes. Did you guys see these flowers? It was congratulations from Mel and Gary for 100,000, over 100,000 subscribers.
I'm sorry, I
So
couldn't
nice.
mess that one up.
Thank you.
They do look nice though.
They are. They're very nice and they smell good.
Oh, good. All right, sweetie. I'm
All
gonna run.
right,
See you
honey.
next week.
You guys take care. Cheers.